We got Tiffany's car set up pretty well. Should be just a little bit loose in the off-camber stuff, and it should be a little bit tight on the rest of it. Otherwise, Justin's car is coming along good. Bled the brakes this morning, checked the air pressure in the tires, tightened the lug nuts. Normal stuff we do. A few laps out on the track, he'll get used to it, and he'll be pretty quick.
Autobahn. Autobahn was a good experience for me as a racer. I didn't get a ride and drive like Justin always likes to put it. And I had a bunch of car issues. We have 50 different ideas of what's going on. And then at the end of the day, it's something super simple. I did like it though. It was a good experience.
Well, it looks like he's cutting a back window in a fabricated roof assembly. So I'm glad that's him and not me.
Straight as an arrow. One of the things that's a problem is we don't have a hardtop on the car, so I invented one. I built my own hardtop because we're still waiting for a hardtop to get shipped to the car. So we have this sort of the same material. It's like a plastic that we use for air dams on the front of the car. We got some together last week, and we just made basically a hardtop that follows the cage, so that we don't have as much aerodynamic issues in the car. Right now, as the air comes out over the window, it swirls, and there's no hardtop, so it's just creating this lift. And part of the reason why we've been having spin issues is the car has a lot of lift in the rear from aerodynamics.
My name's Eric Kutil. I drive the number 82 Honda Civic EG in Gridlife Touring Cup. I have pretty decent experience here, but I feel like I can always go faster. It's a tricky track.
You have the first half of the track with a couple high-speed corners along straightaways. The second half of the lap has a lot of S's. Everything links together, lots of elevation change. It's got these like little bit of everything aspect to it too. So it's really challenging, and it's kind of regarded as the most technical racetrack in North America.
Mid Ohio, as always, varying amounts of grip depending on when that corner was last patched or seal coated.
Sally.
I don't see any other drivers.
There's not a single person.
How you doing, girl?
You just got here, so you're rushing, girl. You're last minute.
My car was here a week ago, but I had to go pick it up. It was 30 minutes away.
Oh.
So that was,
GLTC meeting. Do you want to go? We have to go check in.
yes.
God. One thing about Mid Ohio, and I've raced a lot of tracks in North America. If it rains, and it looks like it might, this is the slickest track in North America when it gets wet.
We're kind of hoping for some rain. So Tiffany and I have raced a lot in the rain in the past series that we ran in, and we're very comfortable in the rain. Last year, Eric Kutil, ran away with every rain race. He was like one of the very few cars out there with racing rain tires and a front wheel drive, and he was able just to murder everybody. So we have racing rain tires now, and we have a completely different setup on the cars ready to go for rain. We have an entire setup written down, already ready to go. So if we get some rain, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
The line will be like driving on ice. It is all polished up. The minute it gets wet, you have no grip there whatsoever. So understand, it's not just about changing your rain tires in this track. You have to change your line.
Mid Ohio brings out probably the most competition of the season. This seems like a track that a lot of people can get to. It's far for us, farthest track for us, but it's very close to a lot of people.
Mid Ohio has the weirdest, craziest rain line of any track.
Just got to get a couple laps in, try to find that dry line, which is essentially anything but the dry line. I got to find the wet line, sorry.
The same elements that cause grip to kind of evade you in the dry here are just amplified tenfold in the wet.
You can find the grip, it's just super weird where it is.
So it's going to be like on the outside of each corner, crisscrossing.
The worst part about what we have with the weather forecast right now is that the first opportunity that a lot of drivers here get to see Mid Ohio in the wet is probably going to be in a 2x2, starting grid with 40 cars going into a race.
Hey, you feeling good?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Dean, you feeling good?
Yes, I am. Good.
I'll feel better. I'll feel better getting practice on the
It's almost guaranteed to rain tomorrow. Usually, if you've been building a car for a while, you have a set of rain tires eventually. I don't have rain tires. I have Hoosiers and worse than Hoosiers for rain. So, Dean says, run the Hoosiers, find the dry line, the rain line, whatever you want to call it, and send it.
When you were here on Hoosiers last time, I felt okay. Did the car feel any slicker than going to like Topeka or something?
No.
Okay, good.
I'm the only person on the team that's driven at Mid Ohio. Last year in the spring, Gridlife came to Mid Ohio for the first Gridlife Touring Cup race ever, and it was epic. I was running between 10th and 6th during that time in a Honda Civic Si that we were running, 2012 back then. I think it's probably my favorite track in the United States. The difference from when I was here from last year is I'm now running a rear-wheel drive car. Your line's a little bit different, your turn-in's a little bit different, your braking zone's sometimes different. And so that's all new to me. But in terms of the track, I know where I'm going. I know generally where the line should be. So it should be a little bit better experience.
Coming into this weekend, we made a ton of changes. The car was really lacking in some spots. Dean and I spent a lot of time kind of getting that straightened out and then testing at our local track. The car really reacted well to the changes that we made.
I spent I think we've had 3 or 4 weeks between the last race. I actually added a couple bus bars, which for wiring to make sure there's no wiring issues at all. Never gonna happen again. I've also added some headsets so my crew chief, Gil, can actually talk to me. I don't know how much he's going to talk to me. I don't know how useful it's going to be. He probably can tell me green flag. We try to practice with it. I've done some practice sessions. I've tried to change the suspension on my car. A couple of times at practice sessions, he would try to talk to me and it got a little distracting. And I think at some point I cussed him like, shut the up. I cannot get through this corner with you talking in my ear right now. But it's something I need to get used to. But other than that, it's basically making sure all the suspension's good and just making sure it'll be good for this race. And I just really want a complete weekend where my car doesn't have any mechanical errors.
Dean, what's your input about this track? Grip-wise.
Dean drove it in an Indy car.
Is it slick?
It's slick.
What does that mean?
There's not a lot of grip on the surface. So at RPM where we test at, if you consider that a 10, consider this surface about an 8.
Okay.
So it's about 20%.
Okay.
25.
So it's like Hastings or Topeka.
Right. Yeah.
It was fuel cutting. The fuel.
Right away. You said it wasn't. You were saying it is. As soon as you went on track, first lap it is.
No, not the first lap. It was like my second or third lap, and you were pussyfooting it on the practice, by the way. Could you have sped it up just a little bit?
Did you spin? No. You didn't spin?
But I pushed more this time.
You pushed a lot? You pushed the car harder. Good.
This track is just... But it was fun. This track is tricky, man. It's tricky. Like the other one is playground. The other ones we run. This one is hard. You have to be good. I don't know how these guys are running like 141 and 40.
The track's great right now. We got cloud cover, so it wasn't way too hot. It was actually perfect conditions, I think. And we got down to, I think I got down to like a 35.5 or 4 or something, which is about half a second faster than the lap record that we set last year.
So let's think here, Gil. The only thing that's changed since RPM was that relay.
Fuel filter. We didn't look at the logs since RPM. Well, I've got the return line disconnected, so all I'm going to do is turn on the pumps and see what it's doing for the fuel.
Well, I need to get to know the track, and I had like 4 laps.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. We gotta get it figured out.
We'll get it.
Upset about.
It's like I didn't come here just to be a cheerleader. I mean, we spent a month on this.
Well, we probably could have spent some more time on it. It would have been helpful to have you there doing some more work on it, checking some more stuff out.
can I help with these? It's a little slippery, especially right away, dude.
Yeah, the first like 2 laps out, I was like,
Nothing.
this is an ice skating rink.
I don't know what to do. Like, if I can't, I'm coming out to driving out to a weekend again and not have my car run. And the track was hard and I need to get some laps down. And Justin doesn't seem to be caring, so. I have never driven at Mid Ohio. I've only watched in-car videos. I've practiced on our sim. I am super nervous. I will not lie to you. Even on the sim, I always practice with Miata, and it's a challenging track. It's just a track with a lot of elevation changes. So there's some sections where you could really mess up if you don't pay attention. And so I'm a little scared about that. And there's a lot of walls, and that's scary. I've hit a couple walls in my day, so.
One, it's just fun to watch, right? It's just cool to see somebody do something different, struggle through it, and then find the pace, because that's how it always goes. Eric Kutil, he and I battled it out here last year. This is kind of a home track for him. He lives 40 minutes away, so you can't ignore his presence at the front of the field.
This track is treacherous when it's wet, and I've never driven here in full wet before, so it's going to be a quick learning experience once you get out there, so we'll see what happens.
Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Can I move like that? Is that?
Not really.
Not. Why are you making me so solitary?